No, just, I mean, I was sitting up the ball that eventually won the game for the Stormers. I saw you walking, walking down.
Dust.
Funeral face, I think, is probably right. Mr. Gloomy. What was going through your mind then?
How did we mess this up? Because I felt, listen, like the Sharks, they fought and they had also many disruptions. Yeah, we know that world. And they, they just clung in and we couldn't bury them. It's largely, I think, through our mistakes around the line out and ball in general play, but that was just my thoughts, was, they fought and we've chucked this one, pretty much. I thought we had a chance. It tends to me when I go for a walk, we tend to win. So I was using everything. It's like, blowing at the poles, even a little bit, not to go over. It's that sort of gesture, but yeah, I thought we made it really, really hard for ourselves, but credit for them. Yeah.
Leon, you spoke about in the week, actually yesterday, about character in Durban and saying you're talking about the Storm as a whole, and you're specifically talking about late in the game. And certainly you must feel that this confirmed what you said yesterday.
Yeah, I said it in the change room afterwards, after the game. I said so own areas and stuff but that's easy fixables. But one thing you can't buy or teach is the fight, and we had it since URC won, and we lacked a bit, like I said yesterday, and yeah, again today, it's something to be proud of, and it's something to be proud of as a group as well.
Talk about big pressure, and you guys came up with 2 bonus point victories, because it's saying, the season was in the balance. So just your thoughts on how the team shaped up in these 2 pressure weeks.
I mean, there was first, exactly the message at half time, and our season was on the line. I felt at half time in this game because we were down, and I thought what happened in the 10th minute was happening in the 39th minute of that half, where we were, either losing lineouts or coughing up ball. Remember, we were on attack with just before half time, and I just saw us being sucked into this vortex. But look, that Lions team, a good team, and the Sharks team, on paper, and they've got, I must give them credit, they fought us in Durban, where I think we were very much the underdogs in that game. I mean, they're clear, just by based on personnel. But then they fought last week with massive disruptions against the Bulls, and they fought today. So to get 10 from those 2 games, you say at the start, we said we need 10 from these 2. A lot harder. I said before the season, I know everything. Those days of the South African derbies, Shield are over. They're so competitive now. The Sharks are not what they were last year. The Lions are certainly not what they were a couple of years. So probably easier said than done. We got the 10, but I think we're properly in the mix now for this season. If you look at our fixtures, I know we got tough Leinster and Ulster, but the other teams that you can go and look through them are coming here, and don't be disrespectful to them, but they're beatable. And we should start one of our normal marches now, but this was the defining thing. Didn't get today, could have got pretty tough.
No, but is there, like in that first, you talk about the first URC season and that, there was like great game management, whereas this season, you've been chasing the game a lot, and I'm thinking of the overthrown line out inside the 22, which effectively was how the Sharks came back there, because that's when from that field position they scored. Is it take practice to sort of have that sort of game management back, because you haven't had those type games that you've been holding out like you were in that first season. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about. I remember the derby against the Bulls in that first season. Yeah, I think that they were just behind in the last minutes, and you guys were brilliant at just
closing it out. No. I think we've tried to develop our attack, and I think in that second half we saw lots of it. The swing runners, those guys coming off ball, and having the transition games our plan. So whether we've sacrificed somewhere else, I know the fight's still there. Perhaps not as clinical as if that's your suggestion that we could be, but we're trying to transition, because that means Dion becoming female. But we try to move the team in that direction, and we're paying a little bit of rent on it at the moment, I think.
Just on the point, Dob, it just seems like you guys create a lot of opportunities, but at times you panic and just the execution is
we force one more different than normal.
I don't think it's panic. I think what's different between URC 1 and now, we've got magic players. I think you don't want to put them in the box because they are where they are, and you have to play with them. But like you said, sometimes you have to just pull them inside and say, listen, there's structure is more important than the magic. You have to earn the magic. I've said it last week to the guys. You have to earn the magic, and sometimes it's difficult for those guys to to grasp it. But that's what makes them brilliant players, and you don't want to keep them in a box.
Just double when Rana said some mind leaves the field. Do you feel there's a bit of a slump in terms of your leadership, especially in those dying moments of when you need those guys on the field?
It's a tough question because if I say yes to agree with you, it's a massive slight on Netland. But I'll give you I think no. I mean him and it's made such a difference to this team. Their presence, his captain the last 2 weeks, huge difference. So and now so I don't know without. Netland came off it, but was just luckily the last play. But I think what both of them have brought is shows you possibly what we had missed a little bit in terms of so I really agree with that without just massive experience. Both the captains South Africa, with him informally and Moon formally. So yeah.
Well, just on Sasha, he was injured in the very first
Yeah.
minute of the game.
Yeah.
What made you guys decide to keep him on longer? You couldn't.
Well, it was a tough one because he catches that first restart brilliantly, and then we took him to the edge. Decided yesterday that on his hip pointer, and it was tight. But you've got to get through it. So when that first thing went down, I thought, we've made a calamitous error here as coaches because we've gone 6-2, and the guy's gone down. But completely unrelated injury. It's his clavicle here. So he says it was out and went in. We were offering him to come off. He said, no, you keep trying, and it was getting. I'm not sure it was helpful for the team. We should have probably pulled the trigger a bit earlier. But I think, just the weight of evidence against him and not getting to half time, I think he was trying to push through. He's so desperate. The blow for us, I mean, he's such a special player. And 3 games in a row, we've lost him within minutes, and that's tough on him.
Well, so Joseph, we're going to start, obviously he plays the big role in the malls and so on. But you guys still be belong in this round.
Yeah, I think we missed Joe. I think it was a good reminder for us of how great Joe is, and hopefully the public can give him a hard time. He's powerful. But I think fairness, his carries, work. We won the scrum penalty count. We didn't quite get the picture that we thought we might get. With clear dominance. There was more sort of technical, but some pressure-related penalties. But no, and John Jock. It's a great hooker roster, and they're still scat. We missed Joe though.
So just let's not try before half time, and then great burst at the beginning of the second half. It's just going back to Dion's point about the fight. I mean, what's going through your mind when the big try gets overturned? I mean, how ready did you get in that coaching box, and just the character to come back from that point? But I mean, pretty grim times surely at that point in the game. You thinking maybe it's just not a day.
Yeah, it's exactly where I was going, Lloyd. Especially just before half time. That's a great example. That's a walkover. The 2 of those tries where they slapped them legally backwards and we're walking over. No, actually, that's exactly where I got to. It wasn't our day because the TMO had given the all clear on the try. I don't know if he the all clear, and then the golf carts were on, unfortunately, for Andre and Apelele. I don't know, you should maybe rather watch Dallas or something instead of because he'd given the all clear. But yeah, probably technically right, but it just felt like it wasn't our day. It did. That's why I went for my walk.
Well, just backtracking, Marvin Ori, a lot of calmness in the line out. Now you look at Ruben, you look at JD. Just for the public out there, how important is the role of a 5? And it's not just the jumping and the throwing, but everything, the organization, the calmness, because we spoke about it last week. You guys are getting it back. When you guys get the throw, it's working. But to get 80-90% of that, like how important is that role? Because now you must get somebody that can work with a team and just pull something together because you need them.
Yeah, I think we've got 2 great 5s. We're the top line-out, I don't know after today, but we're the top line-out in URC. Credit to Rita and Ruben and JD. So, yeah, I mean, a little bit of hubris from us because I see we talked up the line-outs in the week, Mike, but who did you put in front of the media? JD?
Yeah.
And then we are our worst day at the office in terms of the line-outs. But you're right, it's a collective. But I've got absolute. Marvin was a great technician, great leader, detail guy. But these are more different sort of forwards. They're also thinking, and they've probably got to grow. Neither of them have been out-and-out 5s. So a little bit of work. Top of the log in terms of line-up percentage is amazing. But they're real massive carriers and workers. Marvin was more the technician. So I think it's good for the evolution of the team, having with JD or Ruben.
And just the last one, your unstructured play today, I think it unlocked a lot of doors, like Mani coming in and stuff. because the defense was very structured of them. And once you guys started to unlock that, they didn't have any answers. So, yeah, how important do you think it is to create more of those unstructured play, because it just changes the dynamics?
That's our plan. That's why I say we're trying to change our tack a little bit, but we'll give the Sharks credit when they slowed our ball down, like we did those little tips and they slowed that breakdown, then we really struggled. Then we started to force, and that was messy, you know. But I think, in that second half, I thought we did exactly what you said. We started opening them up quite well. Yeah. So.
Walker's next, and then Gavin. Yeah.
Bjorn, just for you, going back to that disallowed for foul play league, you as a leader, how do you keep the team focused, especially when it was such a hard-fought game and you struggle for momentum in the game, and just when you're about to get that and there's foul play from your team, how do you manage that?
Yeah, it's more than you look at the opportunity that we create, even if the try was disallowed, the way we structured, how we put up that try, I just told the guys it must give us confidence and we just keep on doing that. So for me, it's more positive than a negative. It was like could have gone either way. It's 1 centimeter to the right, he cleans him on the shoulder, great clean, and he just slipped off his shoulder on a knee. So I have to look at the positives out of it.
I've got two questions actually. The first one is probably as much to Dion as anybody. Just playing in front of that crowd today. Outside of the URC final, that must be the biggest crowd. Well, you can't get bigger. What was that like?
No, it's like I said during the week. That's why we play the game. It's for crowds and the vibe like that, because you feel it. You feel 50,000 people shouting and getting excited and coming out, and after Christmas everyone comes out and buys tickets to watch the game, because it's two good sides. It's Sharks filled with box and we're in the up, and it's great to see. It's great for Cape Town Rugby. It's great for URC, great for South Africa as well.
And Dom, just looking forward, it's sort of in a way sort of roles for you, the sense that the fact that you're playing Leinster the week after you played at Racing 92. I mean, you're a little bit behind the 8 ball in the Champions Cup. But I mean, if you go for broke and you beat, I think it's South Sharks, the other Sharks, and pick up points against them, you can go over and actually do like a proper tour in a way. I mean, go with a full strength team to vote. You don't have to do the usual.
No, we give it a spin. I did right to give it a spin in 2 weeks' time. Sorry, they gave me my tickets. I was boring. They gave me my tickets because I always have such chaos with them for both games. This one, they give you these packs. I didn't read them, and so I've got the petrol pump attendant from thing. I got 8 tickets, Jacob. They're for the Sales Sharks in two. So he's out to the gate before the game. Their ticket. I've given up 40 Sales Sharks tickets. Yes. Anyway, that game we're going to have a spin. Like we really have a crack. You know what I mean by crack? Like free hand shackles off. Really, these games have been heavy. Really heavy. There's nothing to lose. Have a real crack, and if we get it, then we go exactly that. I think either way we'll go the proper tour. I mean, if we look, the truth is we lose at home to Sale. The racing game will be academic, won't it? And then we decide, what's the the European, what's it called, the Challenge Cup. But then Leinster, week before Six Nations, against the place, it's a lekker game for us. So we'll spin against Sale and see where that spits us as regards racing. But we definitely have a go at Leinster. There's no question. Even if they're full strength, it's where we want to be. Yeah.
Stephen.
Dob, I just want to check with Joe, what is the issue there?
The hamstring is tight. So yesterday morning we pulled him.
Then I just want to also ask you about, given the amount of chances you had, you must feel that you almost should have scored double the amount of tries, given how much you created. I mean, in a way, I guess you could say that could have been a reflection that, oh gosh, we didn't score, do enough with our chances, but at the same time, you created a hell of a way.
Yeah, that's what's, after the game, Derby was full of smiles, we created so much. So it was the same trend in minute 10 up until probably the last 20 minutes. Lost line, or even that last Sharks try, lost line out, and us losing coughing ball up was the whole thing. But we looked imperious at times. That's a credit to the Sharks hanging around.
Yes, no,
just in terms of the Sale Sharks game, Evan Lewis, is he back?
Yeah, he should be back. Leon should be available. Yeah, it's him, Evan, Steve. Yeah.
Cool.
Couture.
Dobbo, John was saying how in the press conference number 4 regarding South Africa being well equipped to handle, the North and South and the demands on having like a year-long season, because they're also obviously struggling with injuries, just like most South African sides. I guess what's your opinion there, and how are you planning to handle it? Because it's not going to go away in terms of the length of the season and having players available at certain times. Injuries not just in 2 weeks, but 6 to 8 weeks. Do you think South Africa is well equipped in that aspect in terms of depth, and how do you plan on, I guess, plugging it, because it is a concern?
Yeah, look, I think that the shortness of the season's going to be the same length. I mean, I think what is a little bit tough is this time of year, both emotionally and then just the different weather, going from Harlequins to coming here to Diod. That piece is, the global season is going to be massive. It's an imperative now. I mean, it's just because then you're playing this team like I've just spoken to you about Leinster, and they're not going to have their internationals, and we are, or they're coming in, we haven't got, if it's towards the start of the season off the Rugby Championship. So the global season is essential. I don't think the length of the season is an issue. That's not going to change. I think we have to be better with our management of the off-season, the Currie Cup period. I probably dragged our season into a never-ending one with some players. But I think we're not quite there in terms of depth yet. If you want to win these competitions, Leinster for years got to the top of the URC table, but actually been focused on Europe. That's the sense. So I don't think it's probably apocryphal, but Johnny Sexton didn't play an away game out of Ireland for many years. So they come down here on tour and still end first in the log. And we don't, if you've got squads, I think the figures are, I can't remember what the number is, to lose 27, Leinster 28, or internationals and that sort of thing. So we need that. We need to have the mentality that we've got a strong enough team that can win a URC game at home, no matter who it is, and a sort of literati and our depth. And we're trying to do that organically here by getting Marcel Tunis into 50 caps, getting Paul de Villiers as an understudy to him. That's the plan. But we're not there yet in terms of the depth. I think the season management, that's up to us, but it has to be global. But as I said, the depth. And that's where South Africa, we've been good. We exploit guys, look at the Bulls with youngsters like Hanekom and that. But the problem is that the phone as soon as one guy comes through, the phone starts ringing. It's remarkable. It's exhausting. I'm sure that, as soon as a guy comes on the stage, then you get a phone from some agent to say they want him, and it doesn't matter what the price is. So that's a tough part for South Africa.
What do you think the DHL stadium for Sia, right? It's a nightclub. I'm talking about Siabelo Sinatla. What do you think for him? I mean, scoring that try, outstripped, was it your intent?
It was Pink, yeah.
Yeah. Just the energy that he brings.
Yeah, I thought he was much, but the way he beat guys, literally broke tackles today. Tough call on him to be in front of the kicker. I thought it was tough. Not so good call of him to pass directly to touch him at the end there. But no, magic. For what he's, the guy hasn't, it's a magic story. You absolutely know what's going on off the field and the medical thing. And to go DHL gave him man of the match in the change room now, which is wonderful. So, no, very chuffed.